All right, guys, so it's quitting time on a Friday. For my employees, it's quitting time. For me, yeah, Kristen's looking at his watch. We're 5:55 on a Friday, so he said, make this video within 5 minutes because I got to go. Don't make it any longer than that. But in all joking aside, I do have dedicated employees, but they like to leave to go home on time, and that's okay. I'll carry the burden. That's what you do. But I started a little clip of another video, and then the phone that we usually use got full, so I had to take over using my phone. So hopefully it doesn't beep, buzz, or have a phone call come in. My dad used to do something, and this leads to a lot of things that happen today, a lot of things that have been happening related to business. The video that you've seen about the lifts, the video that you saw about a couple of my customers, actually 3 of them going through some hard times, dealing with other dealerships not doing what they were supposed to do. And communication is a big key. So I want to get to that. But the main thing that I have a huge takeaway, and I've never mentioned this on the channel, when my dad would go to dealer conventions and dealer things, we'd always sit at a table with people that were maybe from 15 miles away, 30 miles away. Sometimes they might be from another state. And I was younger. We sold vans, nothing but vans. We had a full parking lot where we have trucks and everything else crazy today. We had all vans. Ford Aerostars, Chevrolet Astros, and Chevy and Ford conversion vans. We wouldn't sell Dodge, we wouldn't sell Honda, just because back then they weren't good vans. So we stuck to the ugliest vans they were, but they were very reliable. So people would ask my dad, how's business? So what do you ask other business guys, right? How's business? Most answer, it's okay, it's pretty decent. You know, some of the guys that are big, you know, poke their chest out. Oh my God, I'm killing it, we're doing the best we can. Dad would always just answer, we're doing pretty good. And then if they ask, you know, more, oh, we sold 32 vans last month. All vans? Yeah, all vans. They do really good for us. Chevrolet Astros and Ford Aerostars. I would be furious at my dad. I said, Dad, you're telling our competition what we're doing. I mean, he'd even share the profits. He'd share everything. Like, he was as open as a book. I said, Dad, you're telling our competition what we're doing and how we're doing it. He said, son, the only time you ever need to worry about that is if you're not doing a better job. He said, those guys can take that back. They can go buy Astros and Aerostars, and unless they reinvent the wheel, they're not going to do a better job than we're doing. And we weren't big advertisers. We weren't everything. We sold by word of mouth. Every family that was in the Tri-City area pretty much had a van that they bought from us. Dad stood behind everything just like we do today. Things happen. We fix it. We take care of it. And that was an early lesson in business. Where I was going with that is competition is no problem as long as you do a better job. Outside of that, communication. Let's get back to that. So in this whole situation about our lifts, communication would have gone a long ways. People communicating is huge. When we first started Off-Road Shop, that was an option that I did. Brian was in the shop. I was doing the work. This was before Daniel even got out of school. And I was scheduling the work. Brian was doing the work. I was scheduling the work. Like I said, Daniel would come in after school. That's how the Off-Road Shop started. Like, that was it. We didn't have any extra employees. It was Brian turning wrenches, me scheduling things, me ordering things, handling all the day-to-day. And believe it or not, there was lots of times that parts didn't come in right. Parts came in wrong. Something was wrong with the vehicle. And I was carrying the weight of the car lot and the shop. So sometimes things weren't communicated as good. Sometimes on a Friday, customers expecting their truck to be done. Lo and behold, 3 Mickey Thompson tires show up. We're not doing a 3-wheeler. We got to have 4. The 4th one didn't show up. What happened? Oh, it didn't make it on the load. It's coming in on Monday. Well, Friday, you got to get out of here. Try to get out of here. Lo and behold, customer calls on Saturday. Hey, I'm coming to get my truck. It's not ready. Why? Tire didn't come in. Oh my God, I'm coming from 2 hours away. I thought it'd be ready for sure. It was supposed to be ready Friday. A little communication would have gone a long way. Things happen. Thankfully, COVID came along. COVID made everybody screwed up. Everything was late. Everything was delayed. Everybody had shipping problems. So it made it a little easier for that. But it wasn't ever an excuse. It was just either, 1, we didn't get to it and we didn't finish it. 2, we didn't get the parts we needed. Or sometimes parts come in wrong. So I learned real quickly communication was huge. There'd be times that we get phone calls. My guys would take it. They know I don't want it. You know, a vehicle has a problem. Something happens. gosh forbid, vehicles have moving parts. We ship a vehicle to somebody that we had on our lot, that I drove home, that my guys drove to lunch. But sure enough, we ship it to Colorado and the battery's dead. Well, we ship it to Colorado and 2 weeks later, the water pump goes out. There's things that you just don't know. Cars are moving parts. Cars have wear items, and some things you just don't know. I always go back to the connotation I tell my mom, because sometimes she catches the phone calls and she's like, we sold this truck and the starter's bad. And I'm like, Mom, you can't test a starter. There's no check engine light for a starter. A starter just goes bad. I know the customer's upset, but we'll get it straight. Doesn't matter where he is. There's somewhere that sells a starter, and there's somebody that can put a starter on. And I always go back to the connotation to her and customers sometimes. It's real frustrating when you sit on your couch on a Friday afternoon to watch your favorite show, and you're all comfortable, and you click your remote, and the batteries are dead. There's nothing you could have done. There's not a low battery light on your remote control. You don't know it's going to happen, but it's real inconvenient. That's the same way with cars. The same thing with lots of business. And the other thing about this is today, I had 3 decent customers / friends / business owners come in, and they've watched some of the previous videos, and they have such similar things going on. So it also makes you understand that it's not always what business you're in. All businesses run the same. You have to satisfy the customer. Had one guy come in that's a decent friend, same age group, does carpet, does construction, similar stories. A guy that owns a tow truck company, similar stories. And they all could relate that they also fell short in some areas. Sometimes communication falls short, but it's huge. A lot of times all the customer wants to know is what's going on. We've had to call customers before and say, hey, vehicle got damaged in transit. It's unfortunate. It's out of our hands, but they're upset. Got to take care of it. No need hiding it. Tell them. The only time we've really had bad customer interactions is when something went untold or untold to the people that needed to, and that's what folds back to, I think, what's going on with the lift manufacturer and other things. There's so many chains of control that it got lost in transit. With us, we've always tried to be hands-on. When my dad was in the office, he was always available, or my mom, or myself. People are like, y'all need to take a break, you need to be away. I have great employees, but they can't make some of the decisions, and if they forget to make a decision, it falls back on us. So sometimes it is better to be firsthand. A lot of people hire managers and pay them a lot of money. If you give that manager all the authority and power to make decisions, that's great. But if you don't, the problem still falls back in your lap. So again, might be a boring video for some people, but I can assure you some of the life lessons that I've had. I've been working since I was about 12 years old. I got dropped off the school bus at our car lot across the street to come to work every day. So though I wasn't out turning wrenches, I might have been washing cars, I might have been putting in a battery, I did whatever my ability was at the time. I was around business and learned. And thankfully I learned from somebody that was a huge positive business doer, business owner. And I'm reminded about a lot of this, which prompted this video at the last second, because our decal and stripe guy has been doing stuff for us since 91. Now, we've been in business since 76. He's been doing work for us since 91. And, he comes in, he's got a smile on his face, he appreciates the work. He's been around us forever. He's seen me grow up. In 91, I was, 14, 15 years old. He's seen me grow up in the business. He was a good friend to my dad. He's good friends to us. We laugh, we joke. We're going to surprise him next time he comes in. He needs a battery. His van's had a battery in it for 8 years, and he has to jump start it. So we're going to put him a fresh battery in there. We were dying laughing, but he's a good guy. And, we have, unless they've passed away, retired, or closed, the vendors we've dealt with, we've always dealt with. We always pay our bill. We don't give excuses. There's been times where I didn't take home a paycheck. Some of my people in the office had to go without a paycheck, but our vendors got paid, our people got paid. It's not always been great. Business is rough. They have been tough times. We've had extreme growth pains to get to where we're at. Other people look at it and decide they're going to go start up a business like this, and being in this building is what reminds me so much. We're starting from ground zero in this building. We have no infrastructure. We have no wiring. We have no phones. We have no floor. And we're almost like we're starting a business from scratch currently. And when you do that, you only have one good chance at it these days. With the internet and with everything else, you can real quickly mess up. You can real quickly do wrong. You can real quickly be ridiculed. And if the people give you a chance to make it right and you don't make it right, then that's when things can get frustrating and get upsetting. And you never want to have that. You want to go home and sleep at night. You want to go home to your family. Christian wants to go home right now because he keeps on looking at his watch. But Christian comes from a family business background too, so I know some of this he's heard in the past. Third generation, business owning family in his roots. So if you take anything away from this, if one person takes something away from this, it's worth me spending 10 minutes to say it, spit it out, because that's all we got in life. And we appreciate each and every one of you guys. We appreciate everything that takes place. We appreciate every customer. We appreciate every follower. And again, anything can happen. Things can go bad. It's how you control it after the fact. It's how you take care of it after the fact. It's how you treat the customer after the fact. Another thing one of the guys at the meetings always would say, he was an advertiser, and he was always pushing advertising. And my dad would always say, we don't need to look for new customers. We just want to take care of our old ones. You spend money to get new customers in, but what's wrong with the ones you already have? Just take care of them. If you take care of those customers, you don't need to go out and try to find new ones. If you're trying to grow your business, that's one thing. If you're trying to franchise, that's one thing. But if you take care of the customers you already have, that's all you need. Just take care of them. Now, with the internet and with other things, that's changed a little bit. But back then, we were selling in a 20-mile radius. We took care of those people. They came back. And then it was a 50-mile radius. Then it was a 100-mile radius. This was before the internet. Once the internet came, things did change. But take something away from those guys. My dad was very wise, even though he was a very man of few words. And the things he said still resonate through me today. And as we're doing this project that he would have been doing by hand himself, I'm not over here doing the painting. I'm not over here laying carpet. He would have done those things himself. Unfortunately, I've got to juggle the other businesses now. But we have good contractors that have taken care of a lot of things for us. We have good employees, and take care of your customers. That's really what this boils down to. Treat them as you'd want to be treated. You have to make a profit. Everybody's in business to make a profit. Profit's not a dirty word. It's part of it. It's just what you do after the fact of a sale, what you do after the fact of taking care of your customers is where it goes. So it's a little bit of rambling, a lot of good knowledge in there, and a few things I can share with y'all. So thanks. Have a great weekend.